What's happening, babies? So, I've been watching videos today. I took a little break from work, and the algorithm brought me Miss Dodash or whatnot. And I, I don't know. She spoke a lot um, of life into me in a way of realizing that a lot of things that she's speaking on, I have spoke about in my own little crass way or whatnot. And it makes me feel kind of conflicted as regards to, how things go as regards to me. And I'm wondering, if it's because I'm so crass and I'm so bold and confident and talk my ish or whatever, is maybe that's the reason. Or maybe it's just not my time. There's a lot of things that, I talk about, and there's a lot of things that I don't talk about. And I'm also conflicted about maybe that's the reason that things haven't done what they do or whatever, because I haven't chose to share those things which would tie into my own particular testimony or whatnot. But um I just hope that you see this. Latanya or Latasha, I think it is Latanya or whatever. And just know that me being able to watch you today allowed me to understand that I am walking in my purpose, and I'm walking in it in my own way. And when it's my time, it's gonna be my time. I am 48 years old, and I have a lot of stuff under my belt, a lot of experiences and things of that nature. But to listen to you talk about how, the Lord told you to keep going and told you, about helping the people and things of that nature, that's been one of my very big conflictions because of my upbringing and things of that nature where, you know, I have not really always worried about everybody else. I only worried about myself. And I feel like when I started this journey, that's what it was about. I was worried about myself, and I was trying to make money or whatever, even though the Lord has spoke to me as well about this is what I'm supposed to do. He has carried me. He has literally carried me since 2020. And when I say carry me, I mean everything. I haven't worked on a traditional job in 4 years. Okay. From my housing, paying for the house that I lived in at the time for 15 years or whatever, paying for that, getting all the bills paid, um, my car, and even this new place that I'm in. Like, he literally has carried me and keeps pushing me to, put my word out there, my message out there. But in the midst of keeping me, I've had a lot of struggles. I was homeless for a little minute before I got into this apartment because I had to wait, and I had to sit with him a lot in that time when I was in my car. And a lot of people don't know about that. Like, I don't think nobody know about that, but maybe a couple people, because it embarrassed me. I felt embarrassed. I never, dealt with anything like that. But I guess you wouldn't categorically say I was homeless because I was at somebody's house, but I just didn't feel comfortable there, so I stayed in my car most of the time that I was there. And I know that that was by design because I needed that time to really be able to find myself. Like, I had to find myself. I had to understand, like, that the old life that I was living, it was no more. And I was holding on to it by the skin of my chin to chin chin. I really, really was, and I'm still now holding on to that or whatever. But when I was in that car, I had a lot of thoughts that went through my head about who I am and why I go through the things that I go through. And even with getting this new apartment, like, it was hell. It was hell. dealing with, them doing what they supposed to do in a timely fashion, because at the end of the day, your troubles ain't everybody else's trouble. So how important things are to you are not that important to other people. So when you feel like they should be moving, they not. And the whole time, you in the car, like, so while I was in the car, I, you know, thought about a lot of things, and I learned a lot of things about myself and how I am, how I show up in the world, how I treat people, things of that nature. And I asked myself, was this karma? Like, am I getting karma? And not so much. Well, I mean, the person I was living with, they kept telling me like, no, it ain't karma. You know what I'm saying? Like, you literally have a place, you just can't get into it now. But that's easier said than done when you got a key to your place and you know that this is yours, and you go lay in a comfortable bed, and it's yours. But yeah, I had a key to that place so I could come in and out, but I didn't feel comfortable there. I didn't have a comfortable bed to lay in. I couldn't move how I wanted to move and things of that nature. So it was basically the same thing as being homeless to me. But when I looked at it, it was almost like, I don't know how to say that. Like, mm, I don't know. We'll come back to that part. But anyway, um, when I was in the car and I literally was there, I want to say almost 2 months. No, a month and a half, almost 2 months or whatever. And when I really, really got to my wits end with, like, for real, y'all, like, I really was at my wits end. I was in my car and I was crying and I was talking to the Lord, and I told him that I've had enough. Like, I've had enough. I can't deal with this no more. Like, I've had enough. And I've always looked at myself as one of the strongest people that I know, because I am. But at the same time, I'm gonna cry. But at the same time, I'm human too, and I really had got to my wits end with that whole situation or whatever. And I want y'all to know, like, the next day, the lady sent me the email or call to let me know that my apartment was ready. So I know that he walks with me in everything that I have going on, and that was a prime example of me supposed to have faith, but I wasn't having faith. I had it to a certain extent, but lack mentality, limited beliefs, or whatever kept creeping in. The more and more I was in my car, the more and more I was uncomfortable, the more and more I felt unwanted. This past year, for my birthday, was literally the worst birthday I've ever had in my entire life, because I spent it alone. At least that's how I felt at the time. But it taught me a lot about, putting your everything into somebody else, and somebody else expecting somebody else to make you happy or to care about you how you think that they should, because they don't. And the one day out of this world, these years or whatever, however you say that is mine. You know, I ended up spending it alone and just feeling very unloved and unwanted and all of those things. But I literally cried myself to sleep that night. But the upside of that is, when I woke up the next morning, I felt renewed, because I had let go all of those thought patterns. I let go the thought pattern that I have to have somebody validate me. My last relationship was hell, because I was trying to get this person to validate me and make me feel what I needed to be able to make myself feel, you know. And all that time I spent in that car, that was stripping me of that. It was stripping me of that. They kept asking me, well, why are you going? Why are you outside? Why are you in your car? You don't have to do that, but that's what the Lord kept telling me to do. Like, He wouldn't let me be comfortable there anymore, or around this person anymore. I just couldn't be. Anytime we was around each other, it was hell. or whatever. So he kept making me just go in my car so I could have that time. But when I woke up that next day, I felt renewed out of that, because I've never been in that position before, ever, 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 ever. So it was something that I needed to go through so that I could understand my old ways, my old way of being, all the things that how I used to see shit and how it's supposed to go or whatever. That's not it. Like, that wasn't it, and it needed to change so I could get to my next level or whatever. And so that next day, I went. Well, actually, on my birthday, I got up and I went and had lunch or dinner, breakfast, one of them, by myself. And that's something that I never did before. Like, I've always been, a person that I had to have somebody go with me somewhere, or whatever. And anxiety real bad, real high, or whatever. But that day, it didn't matter because it was my day, and if was nobody else gonna celebrate me, I celebrated myself, or whatever. So fast forward to me getting into my place or whatever. But before I got into my place, when I was in my other place, I was that typical person that I was doing YouTube. Not YouTube, but I was doing social media and I was making money or whatever. But I was putting everything out in the world but myself. You know what I'm saying? I all my content was good, or whatever. It sustained me and paid bills or whatever shit. That money is what I was able to use to get in here. But I realized that what was missing from my content was me or whatever, because I feel like I didn't have the right aesthetic. I didn't have the right background, this, that, and the third. So I asked the Lord for that. I told him, okay, well, if this is what you want me to do, then put me in a position where I feel comfortable to do. I have a background, this, that, and the third, or whatever. And he did that. Like, everything I asked for, he did it because I got it now. But yet and still, you know, I'm here, and, you know, it still doesn't, it still hasn't stopped, the feeling of not wanting to give of myself, not wanting to give of my experiences, because I had to go by those experiences very hard. I went through some shit in my life to know the things that I know, to get to where I got to in certain things or whatever. But listening to you, I realized that that's all a part of the journey. That's all a part of being a chosen one, is to give up yourself unselfishly. So thank you so much for putting that out in the atmosphere and pouring that into me or whatever. I really, really appreciate it. I'm so proud of you and the progress that you made, and the things that you've done. I literally just binge watched a bunch of your videos, and I watched all the ads too, girl. So, and I just wanted to, just really put myself on here in a way that I haven't, because here's the other thing I wanted to say, like, everything that you talk about, like, I say the same stuff, but just different. I'm not very. I guess it don't come across positive because I be having a lot of trolls coming into my lives and things like that nature. Because I don't really do videos, I do lives or whatever, and I be having so many trolls and stuff like that. So they just throw me out my little game or whatever, and it comes out. I get a message, but it be real hard. It'd be hard. It'd be a hard message. It might come off negative or whatever. I don't know. But that's what inspired me to make this video, because you give me hope to know that I'm this close to where it is that I'm supposed to be at, because we talking about the same stuff. We giving the same message. You know what I'm saying? And at the point of how things going for me right now with life being life, and I'm not going back to no 9 to 5 job. I don't give a damn. I'm not gonna do that at all. Like, 9 to 5 jobs, they don't give a damn about you. They don't give a damn about you. You a number. Whatever number they gotta connect to your paycheck, that's the number that you is. You die today, son, your damn job will be on Indeed tomorrow type shit. You know what I'm talking about? So I get all of that, and I understand all that, and I'm right there or whatever. I done did the DoorDash, the Uber Eats, and I'm so I don't know what that word is. I'm so crazy. I couldn't even get a DoorDash or Uber Eats account in my own name. I got it in somebody else's name. Just so I didn't have to go back to a job and be able to make things pop. But here in Florida, where I live at, like that ain't even that's barely enough for a kid to sustain their toys at this point. So it's just really just not an option. But at the same time, I do have faith and know that this is my calling and stuff like that. But I do battle depression and I battle real high anxiety or whatever. So it keeps me from showing up in the way that I know that I should. But thank you again because you've given me the strength to know that regardless of any of that, I still have to show up. I still have to do it to get to whatever I gotta get to. And my really hard, big saying that I say all the time is everything is always working out for me, and so it is done. And so I've lived off of that literally for the last, I'm say, probably a year. I done lived off of that, and they be that. And so now it's real easy for me to be happy in the midst of stuff because just before the pandemic, the type of person I was and the conditioning that was on me, bro, I probably would have jumped off a bridge by now with all the shit I done had to endure. And this time, and then this new life, this new part of my life, I did endure it with a smile, child. I think about it and then let it go and enjoy this one day that I got today that I'm never gonna get back. And I feel like a lot of us don't think of it that way. We don't see that we only really for real got one life and we don't have, all these days to be working for somebody else's dream and to be all sad and depressed or whatever about some shit that's outside of you, you know. If it's something that you could do about it, then that's fine. If there's nothing you could do about it, then you can't waste that day worrying about it because you're not going to get that day back. So I've learned that, and I'm just so proud of myself for that. I'm just so proud of myself for that or whatever. So I know that I am making changes and cognitive changes. And I watched the video where you said something about, our brain. And I be speaking on that all the time. I tell my people all the time, like, bro, if you believe that you're going to be poor, then your brain going to be like, okay. But if you believe that you can do it and you have faith and you show up and you be consistent and stuff like that or whatever, then your brain definitely give you actionable steps, which is the background of this video that I'm making now. You know, my brain told me, well, make a video and put it out there in the atmosphere. Maybe she'll see it because I did comment on one of your videos and asked you, could we connect, have a conversation or whatever, or business email or something like that. But I wanted to make a video or whatever because that's what he told me to do. So hopefully you see it. And we can be able to connect and have, at the very least, a conversation or whatever. And yeah, that's it, and that's all. Thank you so much for being you. Thank you so much for putting everything out in the atmosphere that you have put out in the atmosphere. Thank you for inspiring so many people. Thank you for impacting so many people in a way only that you can, because your glory is your glory. So don't think that anything that I'm saying have anything to do with it. Like, your glory is your glory. I just want you to know that we literally be talking about the same stuff, like for real. And it just blew me away. That's why it inspired me to just binge watch your videos, just to be able to see and be able to. And I know the Lord probably did that to me too, so He could make me see, like, girl. Like, for real, girl, get yourself together, for real. For real. So yeah, I'm happy for you, mama. I'm so happy for you. I hope that you're able to go out and live it up, mama. Live it up. Enjoy your fruits of your labor or whatever the case might be. And maybe we'll get to talk sometime soon. Thank you. Unapologetically Carmen. Out.